Hello, Meoni here, and welcome back to another video for Final Fantasy XIV. Today we're going to do a bit of a speculation as to what we might expect to see from the Tokyo Fan Fest this coming weekend over in Tokyo for Fan Festival 2024, wrapping up the fourth circuit of those fan festivals, which will be broadcast on Twitch and YouTube and Nico Live, and there's even paid concerts as well that you can watch online, which is awesome this time around, held at the Tokyo Dome. It's sure to be quite an extravagant thing to see. I wish I could go in person. I would love to go to Tokyo sometime in the future, but those who are lucky enough to go, awesome. I hope you have a great time. So, Final Fantasy XIV posted a social media post on various social media talking about it, asking what people are hoping to see from this Dawntrail keynote. The keynote obviously will be the first thing that we see on the first day, right in the morning of that fan fest, much like all of the others. Very excited personally to see a release date for the expansion. Now, obviously summer 2024, it's a bit, vague. I would love to see a sort of nailed down release date for that. We should see that. Hopefully, additionally to the release date announced, we should also see information on what the collector's edition might provide you with, what benefits. Some people are speculating if there's going to be a new Meister quality or Meister quality statue with emotes, or rather emotes with a free statue, as the joke usually goes. I hope that it's something related to Dawntrail, but most likely it's going to be something related to stuff we've seen in the game before. We just finished a Hydaelyn and Zodiac arc, so me personally, I think it's going to be maybe a statue with Zodiac. That would be absolutely sick. I would love to have that alongside the other statues I've been fortunate enough to collect so far. As for emotes that would come with that, I don't know, maybe like a sundering emote or something. I have no idea, but that would be really exciting. That's my prediction, is that we'll get the announcement of the release date and also information on the details of how to purchase it and the different versions. Then past that, I think we'll see some unveils. I really think they're going to be talking more about the graphical update. It makes sense to show more on that. There's so many people who have literally thousands of questions as to what they're doing, how much they're doing at one point, any extra info we can get, any new glimpses of some of the zones. Previously in the European Fan Fest and the American one prior to that, we only really had a couple of images to go off of. Some of it was even still in concept, or at least it was in concept and they didn't want to show us the version in the game. But presumably they're much further ahead this time around. We might get to see an extended trailer. Well, we definitely will get to see an extended trailer. And hopefully in that trailer we get to see more of Viper and the announcement of the next new job, which should be the caster, right? A lot of people are torn between Pictomancer and Green Mage. Me personally, I'm thinking maybe Green Mage because of the sort of like the possible red herring Clover logo they placed into the end of the MSQ. If you've played that recently, if you're caught up, that's where my money would go. But at the same time, I do think it could be a massive red herring and they could just drop something crazy on us, not something as crazy as, I don't know, Time Mage or something, but maybe something that we would never think of before. Either way, I'm excited to see what they come up with. It doesn't really matter what they unveil to me because I'm sure I'll be hyped for it regardless, because that's just the sort of person I am. I'm very excited to see new things added to the game I love. So additionally to that, we'll probably get more information about the zones. We saw a few zones. They usually show more of those off in concept stages or photo stages. We really need to see more of those graphical updates. I want to see what difference they've made to some other outfits, things like that. We know for a fact that they're going to be talking much more about the dual die channel because of one of the New Year's questions that Yoshi P answered for New Year's Day in the New Year's celebrations. He visited the Chocobo server data center in Japan and essentially answered lots of questions from people, and one of them was about the dual die channel, and apparently confirmed that they're going to be talking more about that. So Presumably they have a lot to show us about all of the new features, some of which we already know fully about, and some that we have absolutely no idea what to expect. Of course, there's still the information about what the limited job might be. That could very easily be dropped in terms of information. I would expect there to be at least some more hints towards that, if not full-blown announcements of that. But yeah, there's a lot to take in this time. There is no letter from a producer live, as far as I can tell. I didn't see any notifications of that. It is just a keynote, so they're keeping it nice and light. But the dev panels should be quite exciting to see. Other things that I would like to see then, I think most people will raise their hand here and say Femalerothgar. If they don't actually show off Femalerothgar, then I think we might be in a bad situation. Personally, it is long overdue. There are plenty of people that are literally clamoring at their desks, clawing away, waiting for any drop of information on what they might look like. Lots of people have expected them to either be big furry cats or, you know, akin to how male auras are bigger than female auras. How will it work? Maybe you will guess correctly. My personal bet is they'll unveil them with similar to the male Rothgars, but I think they'll probably go the same as they have with the aura. Probably make them slim, thin, and a lot shorter. Is that what I would personally want? I honestly would want them to go whichever direction they feel the most comfortable. But in terms of what would be cool, would be to have this massive, like, make the female of the species much more deadlier than the male, very literally. Like a massive, you know, much bigger than the male, but hopefully without a hunched back as well. Another thing I'm expecting them to talk about in further detail, is hats. Hats and hair. Big topic that I'm fairly sure they are more than well aware of, that people are requesting as much information as possible on. Will Viera and Rothgar get the deserved treatment that they should have had a long time ago? I think they will. I really do. My copium levels are pretty high, but I'm pretty much guaranteeing, in my mind, that they kind of have to talk about it, especially after Yoshi P's visitation to that server as well. One of the questions was about, give Viera more hats, basically, paraphrased, and he said, we're working on a system and to be patient. So the patience level of the community, obviously, is, we've been pretty patient for the most part. I think most people will agree with that. So it's about time we saw information on that. I still think that the morphing technology that they showed off originally in the European Fanfest with the dev panel, where they showed the difference between the models, it looked to me like they were standardizing each of the meshes so they could easily blend all of the gear sets with the graphical update to all of the models. So what I'm thinking and what my copium is, the reason in my mind, I hope I'm right about this, the reason in my mind that they haven't included Viera and Rothgar all the time in all of the new outfits is because why would they, when they're going to be changing it in the summer anyway? Right, maybe it's a massive stack of me hoping at this point, but I personally think that would be the logical reason, because it's extra work, it's extra cost. They might as well just wait until they drop the graphical update, which changes how every single race looks in the game, add Femalerothgar at the same time, and then do it all in one big shebang and make it so that all the helms work. Will I be right? I don't know. That's my guess. Will they talk about it at FanFest? I would say they probably will. Just my fingers crossed there, but I think they will at this point. Other things I'm excited for, other than obviously, whatever the limited job is, seeing new areas, things like that. I would like to see more information about the new open field instance content. I don't know if they'll talk about that much, other than maybe there's field instance content, much like Bozja and Eureka. Personally, that's some of my favorite content in the game. I know, again, it's a little bit of a stretch to ask in a keynote of all things, when there's much more bigger news to talk about. It'd be nice to have a little slide just saying, hey, it's called blah 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 blah. But to be fair, that'll probably be announced much later into the 7.x series, and they'll probably talk about that in like 7.4 or something, 7.3, who knows. But it would be nice, wouldn't it? Other exciting things that we can expect is hopefully a release date on the Final Fantasy XVI crossover. That's something that is definitely supposed to be this year, well, obviously this year, and I think that's going to fulfill the gap closer between 6.55 and 7.0. So I think somewhere in between that section, or they could surprise us by just saying, yeah, 6.55, that releases on, I don't know, let's say the 12th or the 24th of January, and here's the crossover as well at the same time. If it was me personally, I would have spread that out. I'm expecting it to be between the two, because 6.55, new relic stages, lots of other content to look at. Again, we should have some more storyline elements. I'm excited to see what they do with that and how they bridge that, you know, what's currently happening to Dawntrail, how that all fits together. Very excited to see all of that stuff. I think I've used excited probably 50 times in this video already, but regardless, that's that's the current state of affairs. Other things, let's see, what else would I like to hear about? Other than the new feature where you can have glasses on your character at the same time as hats as well. At the end of the day, it comes down to character customization for me. Anything that changes the look of a character I've been playing for 10 plus years, or the features that that character has access to, is sometimes, I think, probably the most important thing in my mind to look out for. And every little hint of something new is exciting, because, you know, we've got the same 4 face styles. Again, that's not going to be changing, but there's presumably confirmation we'll see that change in the future. So any little bits to change a character, I want to see the character models. I'd like to see any information about a benchmark as well. That's something else that I really enjoy every single time there is a new expansion for this game, is the benchmark gives you the ability to access the character creator. Hopefully that comes with Femalerothgar, so people can start creating a Femalerothgar, see what it looks like. That would be awesome, as well as the, you know, the footage that means nothing usually, which is recycled content from the expansion, used in a trailer essentially to show off what Dawntrail looks like, and at the same time make sure that your PC is up to spec. I think that's probably one of the most important things to do sooner rather than later, so people can have a fair estimate of what to expect from the graphical update. So that's something else I'm hoping to hear news about. Not necessarily a drop of that, but it would be nice to hear when that's going to happen, or that there is going to be one soon, so that people can set aside some money, essentially, for upgrading their PC if they need to, if they're on PC, or whatever they want to do, whether they want to play on console, whether they want to upgrade to PS5 or whatever. But yeah, any news like that. Other things, I don't know really, just more info on 6.55, a release date. But yeah, mostly the keynote should be just about all of those things we've talked about. I can't think of anything else that's like immediately of a concern. Maybe a little bit of an update on housing slots, things like that. Anything to get the crowd excited. Usually, you know, more glamour slots, stuff like that would be nice. But housing slots, they confirmed they're going to increase. It would be nice to see how many. Yeah, I don't know. But I'm really looking forward to this weekend. As you can imagine, there'll be full coverage of both the keynote, the dev panels. We'll break those down. We'll use the translation systems over at the Final Fantasy XIV subreddit Discord. They're fantastic people over there, freely accessible for everyone to use, and we often use their translations. They're usually quite trustworthy and accurate. And additionally to that, any other information. Just a little warning before we wrap up the video, there is currently the sale on the Mog Station Cash Shop, the Final Fantasy XIV online store for the game. If you're looking to get Fantasias and other bits and bobs, that will end. There is actually maintenance on the 5th of January, so you might want to get stuff before then. Just a bit of an extra thing, just to add to the end of this video. Because I know a lot of you are massive Fantasia addicts. Much like myself, we enjoy character customization. Anyway, let me know what you're most excited for from Fan Festival 2024 in Tokyo. Whether you're going to be watching it live, I'm probably going to chill out in Discord and make videos. So much love, and I'll see you all next time. Oh, I'm so excited. Make that 53 times I've said it.